Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to It's Rainmaking Time. This is Kim Greenhouse. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Cal Orey, veteran author of 25 years. She is the author of The Healing Power of Chocolate, The Healing Powers of Olive Oil, The Healing Powers of Vinegar, The Sky is Falling, a Global Warming Survival Guide, and The Man Who Predicts Earthquakes. The story of Jim Berkland, maverick geologist, how his quake warnings can save lives. She's also the author of Doctor's Orders, What 101 Doctors Do to Stay Healthy, 202 Pet Peeves, Cats and Dogs Speak Out on Pesky Human Behavior, Just Cook It, Epilepsy, The Essential Guide to Natural Pet Care, Cancer, The Essential Guide to Natural Pet Care, and many more. She is also an intuitive. She is extremely articulate, and she has some very interesting and important information to tell us today on Friday, March 18th, about what's happening with earthquakes and any earthquake predictions that have been made by other people. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Cal Orey to It's Rainmaking Time. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Glad to have you here. What an interesting author you are. You write about so many different topics. It's hard to put you in a box, isn't it?
That's true. Very versatile. I started off as a magazine journalist, and then I finally moved into books back in 2000. And listening to those titles was something else. A lot of drama is happening around the world, as everybody knows. And I have a website for an earthquake forum website. And right now, a lot of our posters are a little bit all shook up from what's happening because we're coming into a supermoon on the 19th, where the moon gets very close to the earth, closer than it has for many, many years. And a lot of people, experts and sensitives, believe that a lot of more earth changes are going to occur coming this Saturday.
First of all, I want to just clarify two things. When one introduces you and refers to you as an intuitive and a sensitive, what do these terms mean?
It means that just like our animals, they're very sensitive to earth changes. It's like, in a way, I'm an animal like a cat or dog, that I have a fine-tuned sixth sense. I believe that all animals and all humans do have this, but not all of us apply it, or not all of us tune into it. Many animals, like you'll see one cat that reacts to an oncoming quake that can feel it coming and act out, and another cat will just sleep right through it. Same with people. Some people don't believe it, don't choose to believe it, that they have these powers where they can tune into Mother Nature or tune into their own body cues that give them signs that something's going to happen, whether it's an earthquake or a wildfire that is in the works. But other people can tune into it and be very connected and pay attention to the signs.
You've predicted a lot of earthquakes, and I know you have worked with Jim Berkland before, and you come to your focuses very differently. Explain how you come to predicting the epicenter of earthquakes.
Well, first, Jim Berkland is a geologist. He's a little bit intuitive, as I've noticed over the years. I've known him for 25 years. He's like my surrogate dad. He's taught me so much. But in the past 5-6 years, after I did write the book on The Man Who Predicts Earthquakes, I've come to believe that I'm more intuitive than he is, I believe. And I think he'll agree to that. I don't like the word psychic, but I am a phone psychic advisor now, and he knows that. And he and I, we've had 2 earthquake wagers for California, and we put a little bit of money on those, and I won both. It was for California, what was going to be the next 5.0 in California, and he insisted Southern California, and I said Northern. I won that, and I pinpointed the epicenter, offshore Northern California, and the second one was for the 6.0 in California. He stayed with Southern. I went with Northern. Again, I pinpointed the epicenter, Petrolia, and I nailed it. I just totally nailed it. And the difference between how we work, he works on seismic windows and lunar cycles and tides, which I totally agree with, and I use that as well. But what's different between us, is that I can pinpoint an epicenter because I'm an intuitive. For example, I'll get body cues. I'll get anxious, or my animals will act out. If it's a quake that's somewhat nearby from the Bay Area to Lake Tahoe where I live, Jim Berkland, he does have sometimes he'll get body cues too, but not as much as I do, and he doesn't use that. He's a scientist. I'm just as sensitive. I'm very sensitive to the earth changes, and again, because of my psychic ability, that gives me the opportunity to look at the USGS map, or just get images in my mind, or even words, like with the first Japan quake, the 7.2 that started all this.
You predicted that?
I sure did. I did. On February 27th, I went on the earthquake epicenter forum site that I have, and I said that a 7.0 plus would happen between February 27th and March 12th. I said that I was basing it on the aggressive swarm. It just looked odd to me. The fact that Japan had not had a significant quake for some time. It did last year, a 7.0 with a tsunami, but, it's a very, very shaky country, as we all know, because it's in the Pacific Ring of Fire. And I had a strong gut instinct. I couldn't get Japan out of my mind. I narrowed it down to the eastern Honshu region, because that's where the swarm was occurring. And I said that it would be nearby Tokyo, which it was, 230 miles away. And of course, as you see everything escalating, Tokyo is playing a role in all of this. And I believe I gave it a 65% probability. So it was an accurate hit, as we call it when we make a prediction, and it happens, it hits. But I never, I was on another radio show on January 3rd, and I did say, I did write some of my predictions and send it to the producer, and I did get credit for the tsunami, because I did say in those predictions that I felt in the year 2011 there would be 8.0s. Those are great quakes, 8.0 or higher, 8.0s plural, and tsunamis in the Pacific Ring of Fire. So that show host did give me credit for the New Zealand quake, which was only a 6.3, but because it was really, really, the destruction was just tremendous. 10,000 buildings collapsed because of the liquefaction like quicksand. So it was considered great destruction, and there was an 11-foot tsunami for the New Zealand quake. So he gave me credit for that. I don't really believe I deserve total credit for that, but he also did give me credit for the recent Japan quake because of the tsunami, and definitely in 23 feet. It was just it was horrific. We've all seen the footage on TV, and so I don't like taking credit for making predictions for great quakes, and usually I stay in the moderate quake range when I make predictions. I don't like to cause panic and chaos, and people, when they're affected, they really get taken into the whole hoopla of all of this. And so I like to play it down.
So with regard to Jim Berkland's window right now, seismic window that he's saying is from Saturday, tomorrow, through the 26th of March, are you in harmony with that? Are you picking up something different? Are you picking up a different window?
Right.
What can you share with us, Cal?
Partially yes and partially no. I'm mixed. I'm very mixed, and I woke up this morning and definitely had a more clear head about it. On the website, I do have saying experts and sensitives are saying that, the West Coast is next for the next significant quake, like a major quake, which would be a 7.0. Destructive but not killer. Yes, there could be deaths, but nothing like what we've seen in Japan. So we're all saying the West Coast. And we all have different theories. Like there's an author, Simon Winchester, he was on a lot of major TV stations saying that it's part of the Ring of Fire and we're next. It's like a square or a bell. And if you look at the, I think it was the Chile quake, New Zealand quake, Japan quake, and then you can just see that the West Coast is next if you kind of do a square in the Ring of Fire, and it makes sense. That's his theory, and so he believes that California is next as well.